Hello everybody, G Bear, Homesteading the Desert, this next episode. Well, what you're looking at is a dozen eggs. And there was one other, but it was cracked because it was cramped together with a bunch of them in one of the nesting boxes. And I picked these all out just a little while ago out of the coop because I'd been gone away for two days doing some work down in the OC. And when I got back, that's what I found in the coop. And I had emptied that coop before I went down to the OC, and I'd brought my friend the 24 eggs, and I left 5 eggs here. So now I'm all of a sudden back up to 17 eggs. And I'm sure they're going to lay some more tomorrow. So anyway, let's move on down the line here. We're back in another heat wave. I saw 116.9 on my porch today. It's now cooled down to the point where I had to put a sweater on at 106. So that's a joke, of course. So anyway, my water barrels are full here. And I did bring 2 of those barrels down to the OC, and I filled those up while I was down there and brought them back. So I got those 4 there, and I've got 3 on my trailer behind my ATV, and I'll haul that around and fill it as I need it. So let's take a look over here. As you can see, all the plants are looking good. I had soaked them really well before I went down to the OC, and look at all the fresh new growth on my apple tree here. Down here, they're sprouting, they're sprouting, they're sprouting. So this tree's getting happy all of a sudden. My grapevine, that little bud a couple of weeks ago, is now a branch. And my cucumbers have set flowers. And I want to show you something I learned from my friend Vince. Can't always guarantee that the insects are going to pollinate for you. So he showed me about using a toothbrush, and what you do is look over here on the pear tree. I've got another flower here and a couple of buds coming out on the thing, and I've got 2 pears set already. So what you do is you use the bristles like the legs of an insect, and you pick up some of the pollen from one of the flowers, and then you move to another flower and you do the same thing, and you just keep doing that on all the flowers, every flower you have through the whole thing. So we come over here, and there's one on the tangerine tree, and we'll do the same thing there, and so forth and so on. Now, I've already done that, but I just wanted to show you that neat little trick. And that's a manual pollination of your plants and your buds and stuff, and it helps you start producing fruit a little bit faster. So look over here, and this is my burgundy plum, and you can see a lot of fresh growth on here. And all the way up at the top, the branch grew so much it's bent over at the top of the wire. And I've got fresh growth coming out the ends of all of the branches on my nectarine. And same thing on my peach over there. And I've got quite a few flowers here on the tangerine tree, and I did pollinate all of those. Now I got my tomato plants are looking good, and I got some flowers on that bigger plant there, so I did pollinate those. My peppers are coming out, and I can see some flowers getting ready to pop open on the top here. And the other tomatoes over there took a little bit of heat stroke, so I want to move things around in here, and I think I'm going to run in and get another one of these shade cloths and cover the other half of this so that I can get a little bit more coolness in here. It gets really hot. All these plants have all been watered again now that I got back, and I soaked them really well. So we'll see how that comes along. I just wanted to update you on that. All right. I'm really happy with this apple tree with all the fresh buds on there. That's very, very nice. All right, let's come on out of here. And I just finished watching the weather on TV, And when I got back, there was a lot of clouds, and you can see they've all bypassed me and moved off that in that direction. But they were all over here earlier, and the humidity was very high. You could stand still and sweat. But they say that tomorrow is going to be one of the best chances of getting rain here in the desert. Well, I just filled that rain barrel over there, so I'll have to drain some off if it starts raining. But that's okay. I'll just soak my plants with it. This barrel is full also, so I can't collect any rainwater. And rainwater is the best water you can use on your plants. The pH is at the perfect level. It's perfect pH for growing plants. All right. My friend Bill gave me a bunch of these carrots that had grown and gone wild in his garden, and a lot of them went to seed. So I took some of the greens of those and chopped them up fine, mixed them with some water, and gave them to the hens. Didn't take them long to wipe those out, and they had their treat. I also stopped on my way back in down at the local feed store, and I picked up some high protein feed because I want to get my egg yolks to be a little darker orange, and that's just great taste and all of that. Up here you see this burlap, and what I was doing with that, I've got to make the holes a little bit bigger, but I put 4 little holes around the bottom of this unit so it would drip water out slowly, and it soaks the cloth, and then as the wind blows and the heat evaporates the water, it works as a cooler. So it makes my ice last longer inside of my cooler. So I don't have to go for ice as often. Well, that's about it, everybody. Don't know. I'll see what the weather is like tomorrow, see what kind of work I can get done out here. I did do a couple of jobs while I was down the hill in the OC, and made a little bit of earnings for the yearnings, and paid some bills, and renewed my CCW. Had to mail a check in for that. So everything's taken care of, and doing the legals and the address change and all that. Now that I'm up here and retired, this is my new home, so everything's got to have an address change. That's all. G Bear signing off.